di gelombang semesta. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya langit aspirasi bangsa. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya kita hadir bagi dunia. Kita Indonesia. Gaya budaya alam katulistiwa, kita kabarkan berita, membuka cakrawala. Semua bertaut udara di gelombang semesta. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya langit aspirasi bangsa. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya kita hadir bagi dunia. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya langit aspirasi bangsa. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya kita hadir bagi dunia. Kita Indonesia, sesungguhnya langit aspirasi bangsa. Kita Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia, the overseas service of Radio Republic Indonesia, broadcast in 9 language services: English, French, German, Dutch, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Japanese, and Indonesian. Voice of Indonesia is broadcast via shortwave 3325 kHz and 4755 kHz, and via streaming on voanews.id and RRI Digital on mobile application. We present various programs for you: Diplomatic Forum, The Session, Indonesian Wonder, Miscellany, Let's Speak Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian pop and regional songs, international musical entertainment, as well as news and information about Indonesia and abroad. Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Conservation that were retrieved from the wild forest from Indonesia. So, if the number of plants in the wild are scarce, so the botanical garden or kebun is the safe haven. It's a place for keeping the plant still exists through conservation program. That is the basic nature of botanical garden in Indonesia. Right. So as I stated earlier, as a conservation site, our program is not just preserving the plant, but it's also our responsibility to do propagation of plant. Propagation means to duplicate those plants, so the number of the plant is keep increasing, especially for the plant that are categorized as a rare plant, stated in the IUCN Red List. So our program is to maintain the existing of plant to duplicate and propagate those plants so the number is keep increasing. So it is our mission is to keep the plant species exist to avoid plant extinction to allow the future generation to aware about this biodiversity of plants. Pardon, can you say that again? Oh, right. Yeah. So the technology is used to manage the database of plant collection in the garden. So the technology consists of plant information and the location coordinates. So let's say in the garden we have like 80 acres of garden. So we have a let's say 12,000 of plant collection. That database is the technology in the database. We have the plant information and the coordinate location. That is for the database management purpose. For maintenance purpose, we use a technology called arbosonic technology to review the big tree, especially the big tree condition, the healthiness of a tree. So we use the technology to to consider the healthiness of the big tree because botanical garden or kebun raya is also a public space. So there's a lot of visitors come and go in the botanical garden. So we use the technology to maintain the safetyness or the healthiness aspect of the tree. So the safetyness of the area can be maintained as well. Right. So yeah, many people think that Kebun Raya Botanical Garden is a big tourism space. It is true, but it's not entirely correct. So Kebun Raya itself actually is a massive infrastructure of research for biodiversity in Indonesia. There's a lot of plant collection that is used. That plant collection itself actually is a research object, not just a plant, but it's a research object. So there's a lot of research ongoing inside the Kebun Raya, which is the research is conducted by BRIN, National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, we call it BRIN in Indonesia. It's a government agency that is focused on doing research. While we in here in the Botanical Garden, we are Mitra Natura is a strategic partner for government to operate the public service in the botanical garden. So we use this botanical garden is a big to operate the public services. But while the research is conducted by the government, because Kebun Raya itself is a massive infrastructure research for plants. Right. Well, actually, there are modernization is going on in the Kebun Raya, especially in the last 5 years. Previously, conservation and public engagement activities is done by one roof by the government, but now strategic private matter is involved, especially in public engagement aspect. This involvement is the goal is to maximize the communication side. So let's say the conservation and the research is still done by the government. As a strategic partner of the government, we are able to oversee the output
Recording in
of the research.
progress.
Yeah, we are able to oversee the output of the research, and then we repackage the communication aspect so the general public will easier to understand uh, to read the research output. Especially we've done this to make it easier for younger generation, for future generation to understand about the biodiversity education. So we make it easier to understand using the research output, which is done by the researcher government. Yeah. So by traditionally, the plant collection can be retrieved by various methods. The most common is from forest exploration and plant donation from respected entity. So if it comes from the exploration, usually there are a group of scientists who's on a mission to find unique plant in the wild forest. So quite often they found a rare or maybe new species in the wild. So the result from the exploration itself will be a new collection that are stored in the Kebun Raya or Botanical Garden. So that is categorized as a new collection. Well, I mentioned it earlier about donation. So because Kebun Raya itself is a so basically to add more new collection, we cannot buy plant from the market. So let's, for example, I bought a new plant from the market and I consider it as a collection. No, we cannot do that. To categorize as a collection is it needs to be, let's say, have a story behind it, either from the exploration or from donation. The donation itself so usually come uh, from the from the other country, so it's a symbol of friendship between nations. So there are a number of plants that come from other country, let's say Azerbaijan or maybe Singapore. So that plant is considered as a symbol of friendship between nations. Thus, is considered as a new collection. Nah, 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 nah. Because yeah, like I said earlier, so the plant itself need to be need to have a history. So the history will be consist of from the wild exploration or probably from the donation from other countries. So basically, always between those two. Well, the impact. So the impact for environment is very obvious because first I would like to notice that unlike any other public places. So Kebun Raya or Botanical Garden is here to stay. So it's not just some place that only exists for, let's say, 50 years. Probably Kebun Raya that will exist to continue to prosper for the next hundred of years. During that span of time, the role of Kebun Raya is to educate people, to educate future generation, younger people about biodiversity of plant, and especially through environmental awareness, through ecotourism. Yeah, this is what I said, through ecotourism. Because uh yeah, I will mention later, but this ecotourism is a door for us to make people come to Kebun Raya. So I do hope the role of Kebun Raya will continue to thrive for the next hundred of years for the future generation as a place to learn biodiversity and environment. Yeah, what can we do? But first thing first, we know that flora biodiversity isn't for everyone. So we try to make easy for everyone. One of the most simple act is love the environment and simple, plant a plant. Yes, by doing that, so plant a plant. By doing that, eventually people will understand to take care of the environment. People will watch their plant grow, taking care of it, make sure the plant healthy. By doing that, usually the awareness will rise organically within the people. So there's a two simple steps. Oh, sorry, one simple steps for the public to help to protect the Indonesia flora. So by loving the environment, so just plant a single plant. That's the first. After that, automatically by organic, you will grow raising awareness about the environment. Right. My message is one, love our planet. This is the only place we live. Don't destroy it. Preserve it. You don't need to be a botanist or a green warrior to save this planet. Start by visiting Kebun Raya or botanical garden and read the education material. And then, if you understand about the education material, then start plant a plant. By doing so, the environment awareness will automatically raise within you. Then you can continue to the next step. After you success the first step, plant a plant, you can continue to the next step. Learn more about biodiversity education in the Kebun Raya, where a lot of rare plants are endangered, but is preserved inside the Kebun Raya. Hopefully, by doing this, the awareness will continue to rise within you. If the awareness continue to rise, it will be automatically that all the action you do will consider or reconsider the effect on the environment or the biodiversity environment. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
For the future on VOI Talk from Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Voice of Indonesia, the overseas service of Radio Republic Indonesia, broadcast in 9 language services: English, French, German, Dutch, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Japanese, and Indonesian. Voice of Indonesia is broadcast via shortwave 3325 kHz and 4755 kHz, and via streaming on voanews.id and RRI Digital on mobile application. We present various programs for